All right, hi everyone on Facebook. Welcome to Briefly Speaking About Cancer, Living with Uncertainty. Sorry for the little bit of technical difficulties we were having earlier. I'm Kelly Kraft, Program Manager at Gilda's Club Quad Cities. And I'll have Melody, can I get you to the next slide, please? And our mission is to ensure that all people impacted by cancer are empowered by knowledge, strengthened by action, and sustained by community. And I want to give a little bit of background about what Gilda's Club Quad Cities it does in general as well. So we are a cancer support community that provides 100% free psychosocial support to anyone impacted by cancer. So that's the person with a diagnosis, survivors, friends, family, kids and teens. And we provide that support with support groups, healthy lifestyle activities, educational workshops like the one that we're at right now. We're also a hub for resources and referrals. Next slide, please. So just a little bit of workshop and presenter disclosure. And next slide. And this is our agenda for today. So we're going to go over change in cancer, common challenges and worries, mental health in cancer, acknowledging the known and unknown, what's next, and cancer support resources. So I am lucky to be here with Casey and Jessica from Genesis, and I'm going to let them take it away for a bit if you want to introduce yourselves and get it started.
Thank you. My name is Jessica. I am one of the nurse navigators for the Genesis Cancer Center. I've been with Genesis for about 6 years and then been with the Cancer Center since April.
And my name is Casey. I am the nurse navigator and I primarily deal with the breast cancer patients. I've been with Genesis for 6 years and I have been with the Cancer Center for about 13 months.
Our main, we have a lot of roles, but our main job is to be a #1 support system in contact for the patients that are going through the treatment of cancer and just be the resource that help them navigate the treatment. So you can go to the next slide. Oh, you've got the.
We got it. We got it working.
So first we're going to talk about some uncertainty. So while you may not wish to acknowledge it, uncertainty is a natural and unavoidable part of our life. We are very little about our life is constant and totally certain. So life can change very quickly and very unpredictably.
As human beings, we crave security. We want to feel safe and have sense of control over our lives and well-being. Fear and uncertainty can leave you stressed, anxious, and powerless over the direction of your life.
So lots of different types of change during the cancer diagnosis. Casey, can you start?
Change can drain a person emotionally and trap you in a downward and endless spiral of what ifs and worst case scenarios about what tomorrow may bring.
If you are feeling overwhelmed by uncertainty and worry, it is important to know that you are not alone. Many of us are in the same boat. It is also important to realize that no matter how helpless and hopeless you feel, there are steps you can take to better deal with uncontrollable circumstances. So the main changes that we're going to talk about are physical, emotional, and spiritual. We'll talk about the physical changes first. Obviously, a lot of people experience hair loss, skin changes, weight gain and loss, fatigue, loss of strength and mobility. But it's also nice to know that the physical changes vary from person to person. I have patients that go through chemo and they say they feel totally fine. And then I have other patients that are feeling terrible and run down and can't get out of bed. So just because you have, even the same diagnosis as somebody else, your response to the treatment may be different. So it's just something to be aware of. Physical changes will vary from person to person. The extent of physical changes will also vary. Some people will experience any physical changes at all. So it's important to remember that every cancer patient's diagnosis and treatment plan is different.
Another change is some emotional changes. Feeling vulnerable, helpless, hopeless or depressed, overwhelmed, nervousness, anxiety, or worry. To cope with all this uncertainty, many of us use worry as a tool to try to predict the future and avoid nasty surprises. Chronic worry can't give you more control over uncontrollable events. It just robs you of the enjoyment in the present, saps your energy, and keeps you up at night. There are healthier ways to cope with uncertainty. Begin with adjusting your mindset. At Genesis, we use a distress screening tool And we do this several times throughout your treatment. It's done at the initial consultation, 2 weeks after the start of treatment, and again, 6 weeks after treatment. And this helps us identify some areas of concern, some worries, some areas that we know we can help you with.
We work very closely with the social workers too. So at Genesis, we have two. I'm not sure how many that Trinity has in their cancer clinic, but we have two. So we work with them, fairly quick, regularly. So based on the distress screening, if it's at a 5 or above, that's when we notice that that's considered severe, worrisome, or distress. So we make a referral to the social worker, and then they reach out. And if there's additional resources or referrals that need to be placed, then that's when we do it at that time. Also, some spiritual changes that can happen. We do offer a chaplain at every campus here, so at the East Campus, West Campus, and at Illini and Silvis. Universal changes with cancer, you can have a loss of control, unwanted aloneness, loss of clothes. And some common challenges and worries we wanted to talk about. So we pulled some numbers from the 2020 Cancer Experience Registry for patients and survivors. So these are some numbers. 53% are worried about the future, what lies ahead. 1 out of 2 depleted their savings and used money from their retirement to cover treatment costs. That one was kind of surprising to me. That's just a lot of people. 38% are at risk for clinically significant levels of depression. And then 41% are moderately or very severely worried about changes. These things are things that we look at as navigators and as clinic staff, because we have resources for all of these things to hopefully minimize these stressors. So if you're ever feeling any of these, please reach out to your clinic staff, your doctors, your nursing staff, social workers, because we have resources that can help decrease these numbers. These are just some more.
For the caregiver.
Okay, yep. So these are also from 2020, the registry for the caregivers. So 39% of their health was somewhat or much worse than before when they began the caregiver role. 49% reported worsening anxiety. 1 out of 2 reported at least sometimes experiencing a sense of loss of control of their own life. And 34% reported worse fatigue. So we also have resources for caregivers and family members, specifically through Gilda's, but we do offer some through the Cancer Center as well. So if you are a caregiver, then that is something to please make us aware of, because we can help.
Common worries are normal reactions to the roller coaster of the cancer experience. When circumstances are out of your control, it's easy to become overwhelmed by fear and negative emotions, but denying or suppressing your emotions will only increase stress and anxiety and make you more vulnerable to depression and burnout. Remember that worry is a normal response to cancer diagnosis, and there are people and resources to help you through it.
So living with uncertainty, what are some specific worries that you're experiencing? Are you worried about the plans that are going to be put on hold when you get the cancer diagnosis? Fear of what treatment will consist of, if it will stop working, if it will work at all, what will happen? These are all things that are normal for a cancer patient to experience, and all things that we're trained to help you navigate through. The next slide talks specifically about caregivers. So when you take care, I've personally taken care of cancer patients and then family members that have cancer. So it is a different role when you're a caregiver. We have to remember to take care of our caregivers as well. So fear of losing someone that you love, juggling caregiver duties with other daily activities, feeling inadequate. These are all things that we can also help you navigate through as a caregiver.
All right. So little reflection activity for everybody. This is in your own mind. You can write on your evaluation or wherever if you want to put things on paper. Some people are, thinkers, some people are writers. But just I want you to ponder the question of how have you coped with feelings of uncertainty or worry in the past? So not necessarily how you wish you would do it, but how have you done it? And I'll just give about 2 minutes, just kind of think. And people on Zoom and on Facebook, if you feel like writing those things down or even chatting them in, if you feel comfortable, feel free. You can check the chat. Just about another minute reflection, just trying to think about how we have dealt with those feelings of uncertainty and worry in the past. We'll have Melody come up too while we're kind of thinking about this. You guys can hang out over there if you'd like.
Can you see us on this side?
Nope, you're good. As we're kind of finishing up that reflection piece, we have Melody here. She's one of our MSW interns at Gillis Quad Cities, and she's going to cover a few slides for us. Thanks, Melody.
Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna talk just for a few minutes about mental health.
Melody, quickly.
Oh, thank you. That's super helpful. Mental health challenges and cancer. And the reason that we take some time to talk about this is just because physical health affects mental health affects physical. They go hand in hand. So it's important to really address both. So the three most common things I think that we observe or that people tend to experience is distress, anxiety, and depression. And I'm going to kind of elaborate on each of these first. So I'm going to actually pick on the crowd. Can anybody just tell me what distress is or how you would define it?
Don't put too much pressure. This is Facebook Live.
Oh, right. All right. Okay. All right. We won't do this. So I think everyone kind of in their mind, just in your mind, imagine your definition of distress. And I think we can all kind of pinpoint in experience, probably several that have caused distress to you at some point. And a cancer diagnosis or being a caregiver for someone with a diagnosis is understandably one of those things that would cause quite a bit of distress to somebody. Anxiety and fear, those are very common reactions to a stressful event, like standing up and giving a presentation or like a cancer diagnosis. And so the cancer registry, I believe, is where some of these statistics were also pulled from. About half of all cancer patients say that they feel some sort of anxiety. To me, that sounds like a very low estimate. I would have thought it'd be much higher. And 1/4 report feeling a great deal of anxiety. So the reason that it's important to address those things with your physician or with a mental health professional is just because something that's prolonged or extreme can kind of develop into something more serious, and you can develop a panic disorder or some other type of mental health issue can come from that. And depression. So 15 to 25% of people with a diagnosis experience depression, and it affects patients with cancer about 2 to 3 times more likely. Generally speaking, women tend to experience depression at a higher rate, imagine that. But when you hone in on just people with a cancer diagnosis, men and women tend to be affected about equally, actually. So, like I said, mental affects the physical, physical affects the mental. So that, and I say that because of that bottom bullet point there, is because even though you may not necessarily realize it, the mental health, the toll that is being taken on your mental health can actually affect your treatment outcomes ultimately. And again, it's important to speak with a professional or ask your physician if they know someone that they can refer you to, just because it is treatable. You don't have to live with it or accept that this is going to be your constant state because you're dealing with a cancer diagnosis or because you're caregiving. There are options out there that can go hand in hand with whatever treatment you're receiving. Yeah, so I will hand it back over to you ladies. Yep.
We just want to talk about the knowns and the unknowns. So most likely you guys already know that some things are just inevitable.
There's the uncertainty, the what if. There are many what ifs when it comes to living with a cancer diagnosis or supporting somebody that you love with cancer.
There are also things that are going to be outside of your control. So things like your diagnosis, treatment recommendations, things that, you know, the professionals have studied in this, these are the guidelines. So we recognize that these situations that we can control and those that we can't. As hard as it sounds, many people find it helpful to let go of those things that they cannot control and focus on the events. Focusing on what is out of your control will only lead to more worry. So focus on what you can. Let go, shift your attention, solve solvable worries, take action on those aspects of the problem that you can't control, or simply go back to what you were doing. Readjust your focus. Do a little activity.
Yeah. All right, so if everybody wants to get comfortable, if you guys want to participate in this, feel free, you can grab a chair. So I'm going to lead a little progressive muscle relaxation for everybody. Anybody who's joined in chair yoga with me has probably done this before. It's, I think, a really great tool to help when our mind is going, you know, crazy. We're having a hard time calming it down, especially when we're trying to go to sleep, maybe. I use this personally when I'm laying in bed and I know it's time to go to sleep, but all the thoughts are just going and going. And sometimes we need to trick our brain into calming down by helping our body calm down. So this is one tool that I like to use. So everybody who's here in person, everybody on Zoom, everybody in Facebook land, if you're comfortable with it, feel free to close your eyes, settle in your chair. Let that chair take all the weight of your body. Let the floor take the weight of your feet. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, just gaze softly forward. What we're going to do with progressive muscle relaxation is I'm going to help you shift your attention to different muscle groups, parts of our body. We'll first shift our attention together, and then what we're going to do is we're going to tense all those muscles up. So as we're shifting our attention, maybe think about what you might do to tense those muscles. And then I'll cue it, we'll tense muscles together, and we're going to hold it, and then we'll relax it. So first off, I want you to shift your attention to your right hand, right forearm, and right upper arm. Just shift your attention there. No need to tense anything yet. And let's tense those muscles, whatever that takes. Maybe that's bicep curl, a nice fist, and hold it. Hold it. And relax. Maybe focus on how that arm is feeling right now. It might feel a little tingly or extra heavy. And next, let's shift our attention to our left hand, left forearm, and left upper arm. Just shifting our attention there. And let's tense those muscles up. Tense them however that works for you. Hold it. Hold it. And relax. These arms can be wherever you're comfortable. They can be dangling at your side, resting in front of you or on your legs, no wrong place. And let's shift our attention to our forehead and central part of our face, so our eyes and our nose. Shifting our attention, thinking of how we might tense up those muscles. And let's tense them up. Maybe we're furrowing our brow, closing our eyes really hard and hold it. Hold it. And relax. And let's shift our attention to our lower face, so our mouth, our jaw, and our neck. Shifting our attention there. Let's tense those muscles up. Maybe we're clenching our jaw, activating our neck muscles, and hold it. Hold it. And relax. Let's shift our attention to our chest, shoulders, upper back, and abdomen. Our focus there and our attention. And let's tense those muscles. Maybe hunching our shoulders, activating our abs, and hold it. Hold it. And relax. And now let's shift our attention to our right leg, upper leg, lower leg, and foot. Shifting our attention. And let's tense those muscles up. Maybe we're curling our toes, even lifting our leg up if that helps tense, and hold it. Hold it. And relax. And now shift your attention to your left leg, so upper leg, lower leg, and foot. And let's tense up those muscles and hold it. And relax. And lastly, I want you to shift your attention to the sound of your own breathing. And together, let's take a nice deep breath in and hold it. Hold it. And exhale, relax. Just focus on how your body feels right now. Not yet, but in a few seconds, I'll have everybody start moving a little bit to wake our body back up. So let's start our movement, maybe wiggling our toes and moving our feet, our legs, maybe shifting in our chair a little bit. Moving our shoulders and arms and hands, and neck and head. And if you have your eyes closed, feel free to open them back up. I really love that practice. I think it's something that you can use on a daily basis when you're just feeling like you need something to break up, a panic or a really bad worry moment. And if ever you're having trouble finding ways to be mindful, contact us at Gilda's Club. We have meditation, we have yoga, chair yoga, all sorts of different things that can bring us towards mindfulness. I'll let you guys take it back over.
Gotta wake up again.
Should have done that again.
I know. Or the beginning. So what's next? Some of the things you can do are make plans for the future, make changes that are important to you or your loved one, start a new hobby, keep moving ahead one step at a time, set new goals and or priorities, spend more time with family and friends, focus on what really matters, and we'll complete a project, house project, scrapbook, something. Make sure you get moving. Exercise is natural and effective stress reliever, and it also helps with anxiety. Make time for relaxation, meditation, yoga, or deep breathing. Get plenty of sleep and eat a healthy diet.
And lastly, we just want to encourage you that if you are feeling any, signs of uncertainty or worry or nervousness or questions or concerns or anything, so please reach out. If you find that you're extremely anxious about the future, reach out to a friend, a colleague, a doctor, medical staff. Casey and I, we have our cards here. If you guys need to contact us, you can. I know that there's nurse navigators at Trinity too. Gilda's Club, obviously. But you don't have to go through this alone. There's plenty of people that can help you and help your caregiver. So please do reach out. And then if you are having like severe worry, please reach out to your healthcare provider because there are ways to help you get through that too. If it's medication or referrals to a psychiatrist or something, you don't have to do any of this by yourself.
All right, I just want to go through some resources with you guys, just some things that are available if you need it. So this is our cancer support helpline. It's also staffed by licensed mental health professionals and resource experts. You can call it any of those hours. The nice thing is they have extended hours past when we would normally be open, and they have hours on the weekends. So just some more resources. Our cancer experience registry, if anyone is ever interested in that, it's a place where they're gathering information to give statistics and stories to doctors, lawmakers. It's a way to get your voice heard by the people who make some decisions. And then we also have open to options, which is a really great resource if you're facing a fork in the road in your cancer treatment. So it's a one-on-one decision counseling session where you leave that session with a list of questions for your doctor to help you make a decision. Like if you're choosing between treatment A with these side effects and treatment B with these side effects, this can help you get prepared to make that decision. And then frankly speaking about cancer is what we're at right now. So keep an eye out on our calendars month to month. Our educational workshops change every month and you never know what you're gonna see. So this is our contact information. Anyone on Zoom or on Facebook land or anybody here who hasn't come before, feel free to call us, email us, or visit our website. We're at gildasclubqc.org. We have a lot of these programs that we've done uploaded to our YouTube and then the links put on our website. So there may be something there that you're interested in. We also even have recorded yoga and chair yoga on our website if you want to try out our programs and meditation before you join in. And also a big thanks to Genesis Cancer Care Institute, Melody and Casey and Jessica. I'm gonna check Facebook land really quick here for any questions and see if anybody has commented anything. Any comments? So thank you everyone on Facebook, and I'm gonna end the slide.